Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another comic book movie review video, and that will be of my first review for a comic book movie this year, 2014. That is of Marvel's Captain America II, The Winter Soldier. Okay, good stuff, and since Captain America the Winter Soldier is just being released today, this review is going to be non-spoilers. Later on I may release a spoiler version, but for this movie I don't know if it really applies. Basically, this is a comic book action movie through and through. A lot of the movie is action. Most of it is action. There's a lot of action sequences, and they're a lot of fun. There's a lot of different things happening. The CG is good. You have, of course, Sebastian Stan, who's reprising his role as Bucky Barnes, or a.k.a. the Winter Soldier. Then in addition to that, we have Robert Redford, who's playing Alexander Pierce. Scarlett Johansson returns as the Black Widow. Samuel L. Jackson returns again as Nick Fury, and Chris Evans, of course, returns as Steve Rogers, Captain America. We also have the addition of Anthony Mackie, who's playing Sam Wilson, the Falcon, who I did like in this movie. I thought he was a kind of a cool addition, sort of like a new sidekick, so to speak, I want to say. Kind of like a sidekick, sort of, Batman, Robin type situation. And the Falcon is a good sidekick for Cap because Cap can't fly, of course. Like, one of his main limitations is he's not able to fly. So the Falcon is cool because he's got, the tech, he's got the gear, and he can help Cap out in that sense. So I did like the Falcon in this. Thought he was pretty cool. The movie version of him, you can see his character design online. It's all over the internet if you want to check it out. So I did like him in the movie. He's a good addition. In addition to that, of course, Robert Redford playing Alexander Pierce. His character, I felt in this movie, he's okay, I guess. I don't want to reveal too much about the character because I don't want to get into spoiler territory. But just to say with regards to him, the storyline basically drives the action in this movie, but it's not as complicated as its comic book counterpart. It's a lot more simplistic. The comic book version of Captain America for this, with the creation of the Winter Soldier, is fairly new. He was created, basically him as a character was created by Ed Brubaker, and the comic book storyline I personally read, many years ago when it first came out, read it a couple times. It's amazing. It's really fantastic, and I think it was a good choice to go with that and choose him as a villain because he does have, those emotional ties to Cap, since of course they go way back and everything. And Cap is one of those characters that he's in a new world, so he doesn't know anybody basically. And the few people that he does know, he's starting to find are either so old they're on their deathbed, or they're like Bucky, have been just changed for this world into the Winter Soldier. So the Winter Soldier himself, I liked a lot. I thought Sebastian Stan as him was great. He's pretty menacing. He's really cool to see in the action sequences. He doesn't say a whole lot. He's more of like a silent, quiet assassin type of thing. When he does speak, he's not that intimidating, which is a little strange because he's got this metal arm. He comes in, he's like ripping doors off of cars and SUVs and stuff. And he's just doing all these crazy things with this metallic arm. I really like the way they shoot the action sequences with his metal arm, because it's kind of like he uses that as his strength arm. The other arm, when he's fighting and doing stuff, he kind of uses for aiming and things like that. And then he's got that metal arm that he'll use to just rip things apart or beat the crap out of Cap and all kinds of different things. So he's a pretty good villain. Pretty good. He's kind of partnered with another character in the movie. I don't want to give away too much with regards to the plot, but I'll just say all around, he's handled pretty well. He's pretty cool to see, and the action sequences are great with him. There's a lot of great fight scenes with him and Cap. There's a really cool car chase scene that he's involved in. You can kind of see a bit of it in the trailer where he shoots this magnetic explosive device down underneath an SUV, and it explodes and topples it, kind of like similar to the Dark Knight, where it's shot under, so it flips this way and comes over, except rather than a semi, it's like a Shield SUV type vehicle. So the Winter Soldier, all around, what I'm basically saying is he's great. He's really good in this movie. Scarlett Johansson, she's there to, why she's there. I guess she does a pretty good job in this one. She's I don't know. Cap doesn't have that many. He doesn't know that many people, in this world. So she's one of those characters that was there in the Avengers. She was there in Iron Man 2. So I guess it makes sense she'd be in this. I don't have a problem with that. So she's pretty good, I guess. Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury is great, as always. Lots of fun to see him. And Chris Evans as Cap in this one again. Same old good. I mean, he's Cap. He's pretty standard in terms of what he does. He's the good guy. He's this type of thing. And he plays the role well. He does a good job. So that's fine. The action is great. The story itself, I would say, leaves a little bit to be desired. So, in terms of a score, I'm going to give this one a 7.8. I was leaning towards 8, but then I thought I should drop it down a little bit because, the Avengers was great, right? The first Cap was okay, I want to say. The Iron Man films have been really good. The Thor films have actually been really good for what Thor is. But for this movie, I had a little bit higher hopes for it. Not that 7.8 is a bad score. It's a decent score. It's a good score. But I kind of had pretty high hopes for it. It was hyped up a bit for me because I'm a big fan of Cap, and I would read the Cap comic books all the way through, all the different story arcs from Brubaker and everything up until the last few years. I haven't kept up, but up until then I was. And there's a lot you can do, and they just kind of opted to keep it pretty simplistic. Now, that may be so that everybody can understand it and everything, and they didn't want to get too complicated, because with Cap, you can do, based on that storyline, you can do a lot of things with him. I mean, you can include, for example, in the comic books, there's, the sort of the man out of time story arc where Cap is basically, because he's out of time, he's been, basically his life was delayed, that many years from the end of when he was frozen to when they brought him back to life, resuscitated. Brubaker and the actual storyline, if you guys want to check it out in the comic books, Man Out of Time, it's really cool. He really kind of messes with Cap and puts him into a state where you've got some interest in terms of time. I don't want to say travel, but there's some really interesting sci-fi elements to the original comic book storyline that this one is based off of. Also, you have Red Skull in there, and Arnim Zola, and lots of other characters. So for this one, there was a good amount of characters, but they kind of streamlined it for the movie a bit too much, I think. Me personally, I do like that sci-fi element of Cap rather than just that straight action. I like to have those other things in there because I think it adds complexity to the story and it makes it more interesting overall. So basically what I'm saying, just to sum it up, is the story is a little bland. It just drives the action, basically. It's not bad, but it's just a little bland. I wish they could have done a little bit more with it. That said, overall, I mean, it's a good movie. It's definitely not a disappointment. Don't get me wrong. It's not a disappointment. And it is a lot of fun. If you're a fan of Cap, I say definitely check it out. If you like action movies, definitely check it out. And if you guys want to see a spoiler version for me to get into details, please let me know. Write in the comments below or send me a message. And if there's enough people that are interested, I'll do a spoiler review where I go into a lot more detail. Anyway, there's my review for Cap the Winter Soldier. Definitely not a disappointment. Really fun, Marvel action movie, what we've kind of come to expect with a little bit of a simplistic story. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev. As always, I'm saying peace.